Pecan Medical Center is under the Glen Rose Medical Center umbrella, is that right?
Correct.
So what all do you guys have out here? Hello. I am Rebecca Van Buren. I am a licensed real estate broker here in the great state of Texas. I live and I work in Pecan Plantation. And today I've got Michael Honea with me, and he is the president of the Glen Rose Medical Center, which is the umbrella organization of the Pecan Medical Center, right?
Yes.
Yeah. When we become members of Pecan Plantation, we're part of the PPOA, Pecan Plantation Owners Association, which is a separate entity from Pecan EMS. And then the Pecan Medical Center is an even separate entity from all of that. So these are three different entities that aren't really interconnected.
Correct.
Yeah. So how long have you been at Glen Rose?
I have been at Glen Rose 17 years total. I started out as a lab tech, working in the lab. From there, went on to become lab director. And after that, I was CFO for, I guess, 2 years, and then COO for a number of years.
So were you a lab tech with an MBA?
I didn't have my MBA at the time.
Oh, I was like, wow.
And while lab director, I went on to get my MBA, and then from there, like I said, I started out from the lab, worked my way up into the financial side of things, and then operations, and from there, worked into COO.
Here you are.
And then CEO.
And the pen, is that Tarleton?
That's Tarleton, yes.
So is that where you got your MBA or your undergrad?
My undergrad, I've got 2 degrees, both a biology degree and a clinical lab science degree from Tarleton.
Whoa.
Got my MBA from UT, and actually have a daughter at Tarleton right now too. And
we're Aggies, so I don't know about this whole UT thing. I think we're going to be playing pretty soon, is what I hear, right? Oh gosh. Well, so Pecan Medical Center is under the Glen Rose Medical Center umbrella, is that right?
Correct.
So what all do you guys have out here?
Provider-wise, we have Dr. Carpenter as our primary provider, and under him we have 2 mid-levels, Chrissy Brock and Glenda Boyd. And then in addition to that, we have therapy services.
What does that mean? What's a therapy service?
So we have physical therapy and speech therapy that we can provide out here. And also there's a number of subspecialties under therapy that we do provide out here. Dry needling is something that we have started and had really good results with that on
Dry needling?
Dry needling,
okay,
yes.
These are terms that I don't know anything about.
It's similar to acupuncture, but it's a little more medically based in its definition. But if you wake up with a crick in your neck, it's a cash pay thing. You don't have to have a prescription. You can walk in. Or actually call ahead, set an appointment, and they will get you in. I've had within 30 or 45 minutes, woke up with a crick, I couldn't even turn my head. Within 30 or 45 minutes, it's gone. And muscle pains, aches, things like that, it is very effective on, and we've had really good back pain, neck pain.
Wow.
In addition to that, they have found and had really good progress with urinary incontinence, amazingly through dry needling, and they
I don't even want to know where that needle goes.
It actually goes in the foot and the calf is where, and it's the nerves that affect that area. And they've had really good. We've had a program at the Granbury Glen Rose locations.
Yeah. So it is like acupuncture, it sounds like.
It is like acupuncture, but it's much more, it's a little different. They, in some cases, will actually do the needles and then they hook up the...
Like electronics.
To it. And I've utilized it on a number of occasions personally, and had to, at first I thought it was kind of voodoo medicine.
Right, yeah. I'm thinking
but then I went home and I had to actually acknowledge that it worked.
Wow.
For some things it's not going to be a permanent relief. It's a short term.
But that's all you need.
A muscle pull or strain, it is a good temporary fix.
That's so interesting. And did you say it's not you can come in and just cash pay? It's not something that even probably insurance would pay for, right?
No, it's a cash pay for insurance currently does not pay for it, but you can, I think it's $40 a session. So it's relatively inexpensive, and especially if you wake up with a crick in your neck and can get immediate relief, or even back strain, something like that, it works well.
You're going to see me up here with that. I'm telling you right now. I wake up with a crick in my neck all the time. That's going to be really. And so who does a service like that? A doctor's not doing that, right?
The physical therapists have had additional training to be able to do that. So all of them have had license or training in addition to their physical therapy. And then in addition to that, we do have a specialty clinic that we rotate some of our specialty docs through. Currently, we have cardiology. A lot of you are familiar with Dr. Miller. Dr. Miller
Love Dr.
has been with us for a number of years.
He's awesome.
Dr. Irk, our general surgeon, does come out one day a week, and then we're hoping to provide additional services. We're bringing additional services online at Glen Rose, and as those grow, we're hoping to carry them out here. We have interventional pain at Glen Rose now. Dr. Moore, who has done his practice is growing very rapidly, so we'll hope to get him out here in the near future. And then within the next month, we should have urology services available, and we hope to rotate them out here as well. So we will have urology, both surgical and clinical services available at the hospital.
I mean, who would have thought you could get on your golf car and come see the doctor, you know? So in this particular building, we're located in the Village. And so the front of this building is the Pecan Medical Center, and that's where you're going to come in and see a doctor.
Correct.
Or you'll see a physician's assistant, right?
Correct. That is, primary care is in the front. Towards the back is where the specialty clinic is, where a lot of our specialty doctors rotate through, and then across the street is where therapy.
Okay. So another thing that I've noticed when I've come in here, they do all kinds of blood work. So we can come in, you don't even have to have, well, I shouldn't say you don't have to have an appointment, but I don't think you do have to have an appointment.
You do not have to have an appointment to get blood work done, and we can draw for Quest LabCorp if you have to. Your insurance requires you to send it out to a specialty lab. We can draw and send to those locations as well. So we can be as opposed to leaving the gates and having to go into town to get your blood drawn, you can have it drawn here.
It's awesome.
We can run it at our lab. We do have basic lab that we can run on site, and a lot of the testing, flu testing, COVID test, RSV, a lot of those things we can run on site. So you'll know, within a matter of 30 minutes or an hour, the results of that.
So, and you can see anybody, or Mr. Carpenter, or Dr. Carpenter, rather, I'm hearing his doctor, because you shouldn't call him Mr. Dr. Carpenter and the other physician's assistants can see children on the way up, all the way up to geriatric, right?
Correct. We do have actually a growing pediatric practice here in Pecan. As Pecan has grown and more and more families are moving in, we're starting to see more and more pediatric patients.
Absolutely. People ask me that all the time. They're like, is this a retirement community? I'm like, no, absolutely not. You get on Ravenswood behind a school bus, and you're going to be stopping every fourth or fifth house. You live on Ravenswood,
I do
right?
live on Ravenswood,
yeah,
yes.
You're going to be stopping every fourth or fifth house. So I don't think we talked about this. How long have you been in Pecan?
I've been in Pecan about 17 years.
17 years, and you've got a wife and two girls, right?
Yes.
Just like me. Well, I don't have a wife and two girls. I have a husband and two girls. So what are you guys excited about next year?
We have a lot of things going on. We have a kind of the campaign we're kicking this year off is Come Grow With Us. Had a lot of changes in the hospital over the last couple of years. I guess the first big thing that we brought in was the Da Vinci robot. So we do have the latest and greatest in surgical robot technology. From there, we've added a hospitalist program so that, we brought in 2 internal medicine doctors that came from an ICU setting that are now taking, if you're admitted in, so if you're Dr. Carpenter is your family practice doctor and you're admitted to the hospital, those 2 doctors will take care of you if you're in the hospital. Then they'll work with Dr. Carpenter on your treatment. Some of y'all might be familiar with Dr. Hutchison. She's actually the doctor who's running that program for us.
Oh, great. She was here for years, wasn't she?
She was here for a number of years. She's internal medicine certified, and she's running our hospitalist program. So that's allowed us to increase our acuity level for patients at Glen Rose.
What's a QD level?
Acuity, or how sick. We can take care of a lot sicker patients now. We're used to a lot of things we would have to transfer out to a higher level of care, but now we can do a lot of those things. Both of the doctors, Dr. Borgfeld and Dr. Hutchison, came from a large ICU and took care of vent patients all the way through COVID, so they're comfortable taking care of some pretty sick people. So that's allowed us to increase our acuity level.
Got it.
In addition to that, we have purchased a 3D mammography machine, which is kind of the latest on the market too. So we do have 3D mammography available in Glen Rose. Another thing that we're really excited about is our new CT scanner. We purchased a 64-slice CT. And one of the tests we can do on that, it's, again, a cash pay test. It's $100. You do have to have a doctor's order for it, but it's a cardiac calcium score. Mm-hmm. You go back, you need to call ahead and make an appointment, but you go back, lay down on the CT scanner for 5 minutes. It actually scans your heart and looks for calcium buildup in the heart and will give you a score. It's non-invasive. It's kind of a nice screening tool to see cardiac health.
It tells you if you've got blockage and stuff,
exactly.
or like the possibility you could have blockage?
Exactly. We already had, and I can share this because the individual is
alive.
is alive. Well, he's fine with us sharing the story. He's actually kind of one of our big promoters of this new. But he went in for just a random screen. Come to find out his score was high. He went on to see his cardiologist. They did an angiogram, and they had him set up with a cardiac surgeon at 8 o'clock the next morning.
Wow.
And ended up having quadruple bypass, and had no signs, no symptoms, no history, just because he had the scan, found out that he had like 90% occlusion in 3 of his arteries, and nothing, not sure how much in the other, but
That's a great testimony.
Potentially saved his life. I mean, the doctor said had he not come in, he probably would have had a significant heart attack, if not at some point in the near future.
For $100?
Yep.
$100.
And it's non-invasive,
You're in, you're out. There's no prep. There's no colonoscopy prep for this, right? Oh, yeah.
So we've had a number of patients that we have actually caught and have had stents and things placed because of just a simple screen they found out. And it's much better if you diagnose it before you do cardiac damage or before you have a heart attack. At that point, you've already lost muscle. You can't regain that muscle.
Wow.
So if you go in and have a scan and, they find out that you have a blockage, they can go in and put a stent and you still maintain your heart muscle.
Well, that's a $100 investment that sounds like it's worth thousands,
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, wow. My goodness. Anything else you want to tell us about?
We are about to start the process of bringing in a large bore, state-of-the-art MRI, fixed MRI unit. So no longer do you have to go to the trailer for your MRI. It's actually, technology-wise, there's nothing in the area. Maybe there's a little bit in Fort Worth and Dallas, but as far as Cleburne, Granbury, Stephenville, there's nothing comparable in the area when it comes to MRI. And again, it's a large bore MRI that is also, it'll take patients up to 700 pounds. So it'll take larger, and it's larger for claustrophobia and things like that. And the scan time is about half of what your standard scan time of any other MRI is. So
that's that big circle thing that you're on that table.
It's usually the narrow tube where they put
Yeah.
you and it feels like you're in a drum while people are beating on it.
Oh gosh, and then all the just that I can understand that whole claustrophobic.
This again, so it's one of the larger bores on the market, so it's much less claustrophobic, and the scan times are about half. So
I love that Glen Rose is on the cutting edge of so much. This is great.
Yeah, a lot of new things come in, a lot of changes. Like I say, we're actively recruiting an additional physician out here. Hopefully within the next 6 months, we'll have a new provider out here, and then we'll begin recruiting in Glen Rose for another provider as well. So,
outstanding.
As you've seen all the houses and all the growth and all the people moving in, we're trying to stay on the, and keep up with all that growth and be able to provide as many services as we can and keep people from, if you don't have to leave the gates, if we can take care of it here within Pecan, we would like to do that. So
I agree. Not leaving the gates is great. And then personally for me, I've had 4 generations coming and seeing Chrissy. She's amazing. My grandmother saw her, my parents, I saw her, and so did my daughter. And so talk about knowing family history. It's really, we're a great community, but it's really been an asset for me. And I'm thankful that you guys have brought this medical center here because I don't have to leave the gates of Pecan. So anyway, so thank you guys so much for watching my YouTube channel. Let's stay tuned and see what comes up next.